Social Science, Class 6, Civics, Chapter 2, Diversity and Discrimination. Hi guys, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Schooling. We shall discuss about diversity and discrimination in this session. Now, what is diversity? It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. These can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, socio-economic status, age, physical abilities, etc. Simply easy to understand, each and everybody is different. We belong to a different religion, different caste, we belong to different age, different physical abilities, our social and economic status is different, our gender is different. We are unique. Children, can you see the picture of diversity given here? Different people around the world. Children, for your better understanding, from all over the world, we have selected a picture. Different caste, different gender, different colors, different kinds of people. They belong to different races. What is discrimination? The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of race, age, or sex, is called as discrimination. We just segregate them based on their age or on the race they belong to or belonging to the particular religion or caste or their sex. This is called as discrimination. We seclude them from the mainstream of the society. Children, I have given you two pictures here. One picture which depicts a separate person, a person being separated from the mainstream of the society. All representing in blue color, the segregated separated one in red color. That is discrimination. The person standing in red color, no, he is discriminated by the whole society. And the other picture containing eggs. The other eggs laughing at the brown color egg. The white ones are normal. The brown color is the discriminated one. I think you can clearly understand from these pictures. Even from these pictures, I think you can understand, children, what is discrimination. A person physically challenged is being discriminated here. And a person in the other picture given here is being discriminated. He is secluded, segregated from the mainstream of the society. Difference and prejudice. Differences can only be stated on the basis of comparison or categorization. How do we find out a difference actually, children? We compare first. When we compare, we find out that the one which we are comparing is not normal. It is something different. So we compare and conclude that it is a different one. Then we categorize it as a different person or a different entity. Prejudice is an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand with or without knowledge, thought or reason. Mostly we do it in a negative way. We see a person, we think of something negative about him. Might be the person is dark in complexion, we frame some other opinion. Might be the person is a physically challenged person, we form a prejudice. A negative notion is being formed by us. This is called as prejudice. Prejudice can further be explained that many of us are being prejudiced about people who differ from us. We want people same like us. We think of our traits, religions, etc. to be the best, and we automatically presume that those of others are not good. Isn't it not, children? The same people who belong to us, we think from the same religion or from the same culture, are the best. Whichever religion or whichever caste we belong to, we think that it is only the best. And we think that others are inferior. It is not superior like us. It is not as good as. us. This is not a healthy trait of our diversity because we have many people, many religions, many states, many cultures, many traits. Their practices are very much different, isn't it not? In prejudice, we often hurt others. Another thing about prejudice, we also tend to create stereotypes. That is, we form one particular image, a positive or a negative one, about something without pondering over it carefully. We do not know what it is, but we create a particular image, most probably a negative one. The stereotype may be with respect to religion, place of origin or residence, their sex or race or background, etc. So when we prejudice, what happens actually, children? When people act in a particular way, driven by the prejudice, when we form a negative notion about a particular person or a stereotype, discrimination happens. We seclude them separately. We form a judgment. We form a pre-notion about the person without knowing what it is, who it is, why he is like that. We discriminate them. In this, we prevent people from using their rights just because we think that they are inferior. We treat them very badly, differently, so that they think that they are inferior to us. We give a picture like that. Now, what is a stereotype? It is a generalization about a person or group of persons. We resort to prejudice by ascribing characteristics to a person based on a stereotype without the knowledge of the complete facts. We just think like that. That is it. We generalize about a person or a group of persons and we come to a particular idea without knowing the complete facts about them. Now, what does the stereotype do? It reduces an individual to a rigid image. It doesn't allow them to change. We form a particular picture about a particular person and it is being very rigid. There is no change in that. We do not try to change it. And we do not consider the fact that human beings are complex and multidimensional with unique attributes. We want people of the same category like us. There should be no change at all, so that we fix up our mind. Stereotypes suggest that people or groups of people are the same, although they are quite different. Another important subtopic which we are going to discuss now is caste. What is caste? A system of rigid social stratification. It is hierarchy characterized by hereditary status, endogamy, and social barriers sanctioned by customs, law, and religion. Do we decide our caste, children? We are just born to our parents who are belonging to a particular caste. That is why we call it as ascribed status. Endogamy is nothing but marrying within the same caste. To carry our caste into the future generation, we get married to the same caste. Because of this, our children are born and they also belong to the same caste. And this caste refers to any of the hereditary social classes or subclasses of traditional Hindu society, stratified according to Hindu ritual purity, namely the Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra caste. Caste is also called as Jati. How did we bring all these into practice, children, in the society? On basis of the occupation, whatever work we were doing, because of that we were segregating people based like caste. Castes were created as a result of discrimination on the basis of occupation of people. Rules were created by the people who called themselves as upper caste. The group at the bottom of the caste ladder were labeled as untouchables. We call it as an hierarchy. The segregation of the caste from top caste to the bottom of the caste. It is called as a ladder. Children, I have shown you a picture of caste hierarchy here, a ladder-like structure. By this we can understand. The Brahmin community at the top. Next to that is the Kshatriya community. Next to that is the Vaishya community. And the least the Shudra community. By this we can understand the caste hierarchy. How Brahmins were at the topmost position and how Shudras were at the least position in the society. Children, we have already discussed about the Dalits, the untouchables in our previous sessions. Isn't it not? That these people were not allowed to take water from the general well where the upper caste people will take water, or they will not be allowed to enter into the temple, or they were not treated like the same with the other community people. They were segregated, separated, and these people were given a particular type of work. No one likes to take up that work, like washing the dead bodies or drumming when the death happens. Like that, there are certain works which we have given, cleaning the toilets, etc. Now we have to discuss about untouchables. The untouchables were not allowed to take on work other than what they were meant to do. They were not given different works. They were given a separate work. Only that work has to be done by the untouchables. People maintained a distance from them. This is a very important point which we have to note down here. They maintained, the upper caste people maintained a distance from the untouchable people, and they gave them a separate name called as Dalits. Children, a sample of a picture has been shown to you, that how people were segregated from the normal stream of the society. These people were deprived of their rights. Just because they are being born into a particular caste, people segregated them. The topmost community people segregated them. They did not have the right to study, or they did not have the right to mingle with other people. They did not have the right to draw water from the ponds or wells which the other community people were doing, or they will not be allowed to enter into the temples also. When Brahmins or other upper society people come in front of them, they will have to bend, bow down, and they should not wear chappals. They were not allowed to wear the shirts also. So these were the discriminations done to them. So what will be the expectation of these untouchables, children? They just want equality. Like how others are being treated in the society, they also wanted them to be treated equally. Many Dalits and women came forward to demand equality with other castes and men respectively. When India became independent, the constitution was made which laid down laws for equality among all Indians. You all know what is untouchability, isn't it not, children? Social and religious practice of segregating people from the mainstream. That is only called as untouchability. So what do we understand, children? All are equal in the society. We should not treat people in a different manner. We should not treat them badly. Untouchability should not be practiced. Dr. Ambedkar was a politician and a social reformer. A Dalit himself, who had suffered a lot, is considered as the father of the constitution. Now, who are Mahars? Mahars are an important social group within the Indian state of Maharashtra and its surrounding states. A group of related endogamous castes, the Mahars are the largest scheduled caste group in Maharashtra. Constitution. A constitution is an aggregate of fundamental principles or established precedents that constitute the legal basis of a polity, organization, or other type of entity, and commonly determine how that entity is to be governed. How we are going to be governed will be written in the constitution. The fundamental law, written or unwritten, that establishes the character of a government by defining the basic principles to which society must conform. So this is how the constitution, in our constitution it would be written. We the people, isn't it not? So how we live, what we speak, what we eat and wear and what we play, all these depend on the historical background and geographical settings of the place where we live in. So in India we follow 8 major religions and there are over 1600 mother tongues and over 100 dance forms. We should respect all religions. We should give equal treatment to all castes and religions. Everything has to be given proper respect, isn't it not, children? The preamble, the first page of the Constitution that presents a summary of the rules by which that nation must function is called the preamble. So this is an extract from Dr. Ambedkar's writings and speeches. It tells the story of a day when Ambedkar and his companions were discriminated against just because they were untouchables. We hear other stories like when Ambedkar was thirsty also, as along with his friends, he tried to get water from someone by knocking the house and people were not giving them water just because they belong to the so-called untouchable community. And he was asked to go and drink water from the cow shed. So this is how people were discriminated and treated very badly. This should not be done, children. So this is the first-hand experience of Ambedkar, who later came up as one of the greatest leaders of India. So from Ambedkar's writing, we come to know that the sense of discrimination was so much that the station master who met them refused to entertain them once he got to know that their caste was like this. Later, when the bullock cart drivers came to know this, even they also refused to carry them and offered to get polluted for even double the price. When they even tried to give them double the price, they did not want to carry them because they would get polluted. They wanted to remain as pure people. So children, we have come to the end of this chapter. I suppose you would have enjoyed my video. You would have understood. Make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe to my Schooling YouTube channel. Subscribe and click the post notification and you will be notified every single time when I upload new videos. If you have any questions, please do ask in my Instagram. Thank you.